never underestimate, never underestimate the power and magnitude of your giving of time, talent, and finance, no matter how small. There's a quote that teaching is the greatest form of optimism. I think for my personal context, I've always been a person of optimism. And if I look at the enormity of all the challenges in the world and society that are going on, if you just look at all that, you might say, ah, and it's very tempting to say, I can't deal with all that. I can't even change it. Let me just achieve what I can achieve for me and my local family, and I'll just do the best I can, just focus on me. And that's almost like a selfish perspective. But when you have what I call a spirit of optimism, in the spirit of service, you're always looking for what I call ways to make incremental impact. In other words, if we even visualize right now in the gallery view, right, in the gallery view of Zoom, we see all of quote unquote the squares. But each of those squares are actually having a humanistic context, each having talents and gifts and skills that can create change in the respective way. So it starts first with a viewpoint that I actually can make some changes, and I understand that I'm doing it in an incremental way. If I think I'm going to make it overnight, it's not going to happen. So look at my career of over 30 years. We now have hundreds, literally hundreds of board certified physicians who would have never been physicians if not for the GEMS program and how we design it and how we nurture and develop students, both in terms of their academic skills, competencies, but equally important, their professional skills, competencies, and how they want to utilize their service disposition, right? Their servant personality has to come out in terms of servant leadership. So you have to have a spirit of optimism and service. That is probably my biggest drive, because people say, how do you seem to always be up every day? How do you seem to always be energetic every day? Because each day I see potential. It's like when I see the students on here, even when I see your pictures, for me, everything has like a potential for success. I'm like, I wonder what I'll be invited to do today, right? Yeah. Now remember, there's balance, because if you're overextended in your service opportunities, you can become ineffective, right? So I had to learn also, as a second important component, that yes, it's great to serve, but then you have to know balance for wellness, balance for family, if you're going to have family, so that now your service time really feels great, because you've also taken care of yourself, kept yourself healthy and happy, and you're also providing value time for your family. Why is this important? Because the demand for any service is insatiable. It is insatiable. There is no way to stop it. We're always going to need people helping in a broad range of areas, right? So you have to be able to say, if each one of these squares, in fact, actually think about this. Sometimes look at buildings. You see the buildings with all the glass windows, and I look at it sometimes and I'll say, if each person in that glass window took on one person and helped encourage them, pre-med student, other career, advise them, or serve in the community in some way, help build housing for those who don't have housing, right?
Yeah.
Work in lobbying legislators to change laws. That's value. Doing a telephone bank, a writing campaign. All of these are service opportunities that we can do to affect change if we believe and accept what I'm doing as an individual is being magnified collectively. And that's sometimes where we get dissuaded, because we say, well, what's my little letter going to do? What's my little phone call going to do? What's my little 20 hours going to do? It's going to do a lot, because you may be the very inspiration for someone else. So therefore, I have tried to model through the different activities that I do, both in my community, which may be serving in the capacity of building housing for underserved populations who don't have housing. I do that. It's in the domain of providing educational services for early childhood education, lending my skills and talents for those who do not have that opportunity, right? Volunteering that way, providing finance to support those type of initiatives. You pick what's important to you. It doesn't have to be 30 areas.
Yeah.
Pick one or two that seem to resonate with your skills and your talents and your interests, but you have to have an optimistic sort of personality, because service requires optimism when there's so much challenge in the world and there's so much need.
Yeah.
Service does require resilience. So you have to have a resilient kind of personality. And you have to see the possibilities, even in the very incremental component you're doing, which seems small. In fact, it's this whole screen. I'm one square, but based on what we're doing right now and based on what your team has done, it's already exponentially expanded. And then those valued students who are here today, they're going to tell other people, and it continues to expand. Never underestimate the power and magnitude of your giving of time, talent, and finance, no matter how small, because it does have, here we go again, a ripple effect.